Long before written history, a tangled vine climbed through the forests of the Caucasus, between the Black Sea and the Caspian, twisting toward the light. Its fruit was small, sour, and full of seeds. Yet within those clusters lay a promise that would reshape human civilization. The wild grape, Vitis vinifera, would become one of the oldest cultivated plants on Earth, and the vineyard one of humanity's most enduring works of patience. Archaeologists have traced the first deliberate cultivation of grapes to roughly 8,000 years ago, in the lands we now call Georgia, Armenia, and Iran. There, in clay vessels buried in the ground, people discovered that crushed grapes left to themselves would transform, bubbling into something intoxicating and strange. From these beginnings, the grape and the vine spread outward along every trade route of the ancient world. The Phoenicians carried cuttings across the Mediterranean. The Greeks planted them on sun-drenched hillsides and wove the vine into their myths. The Romans perfected the craft, terracing entire mountainsides and writing detailed manuals on how to prune, train, and tend the growing plants. To grow a vineyard is to commit to the slow rhythm of the years. A newly planted vine yields no usable fruit for its first 3 seasons, and only after several more does it reach its full strength. But once established, a single vine may live and produce for 50 years or more, its roots driving deep into the soil, sometimes reaching 10 meters down in search of water and minerals. This deep rooting is part of the grape's secret. The vine draws character from the very ground beneath it, from the stone, the clay, the chalk, and the slope. Each winter, the grower returns to prune. With knife and shears, they cut away most of the previous year's growth, leaving only a few carefully chosen canes. It seems almost violent, this stripping back of the plant, yet it is essential. Without pruning, the vine spends its energy on leaves and wood rather than fruit. The art lies in restraint, in knowing how much to remove and how much to leave for the season ahead. As spring warms the soil, buds swell and break, and tender green shoots unfurl. Through summer the grapes form, hard and green at first, then swelling and softening in a moment the French call verreisen, when the clusters blush from green to gold or deep purple. The grower watches the sky, fearing late frost, hail, mildew, and drought, for each can undo a year of labor in a single afternoon. Harvest comes in the cooling days of autumn. For thousands of years it was done entirely by hand, whole families moving down the rows with baskets and curved knives, racing to gather the fruit at the precise moment of ripeness. In many of the world's finest vineyards, this is still true today, where steep slopes and delicate clusters allow no machine to enter. The grape's role in human history runs far beyond the bottle. Grapes dried into raisins fed armies and travelers across deserts and centuries. The vine became a symbol of abundance, of sacrifice, of celebration, woven into religion, art, and ceremony from the temples of antiquity to tables across the modern world. Whole economies and cultures grew around the slopes where the vine flourished, shaping landscapes that still define entire regions. Today, the grape is among the most widely grown fruits on the planet. Each year, the world produces around 75 million tons, cultivated on every continent except Antarctica. Roughly half of that harvest becomes wine, while the rest is eaten fresh, dried, or pressed into juice. Italy, France, Spain, China, and the United States stand among the largest producers, yet the vine grows in countless smaller places, each adding its own voice to an ancient conversation. Modern science now maps the grape's genome and guards against disease, while growers experiment with new varieties suited to a changing climate. And still, in the quiet of a winter vineyard, a man or woman stands before a bare vine with a knife in hand, performing the same careful act their ancestors performed 8,000 years ago. The tools have changed. The patience has not.